Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. If you guys want to help the channel out, please share all of these videos with your friends, put it on Twitter, just share it. That's all I ask. And today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update on uranium. We'll jump in there. I'll let the charts do the talking and I'll be your scribe. So let's dive in here and see what they're telling us. So here is Sprott Uranium Physical Trust. Again, we broke out of this channel to the upside. And, we had a pretty strong day overall with a lot of the energy sector. This wasn't up as much. It's like we're just kind of stalling out here waiting for something. I don't know what that something is yet, but hopefully we can get some momentum and get moving to the upside. URNM, again, we're just tracking sideways. We still got these big down days right in front of us. We've got this reversal day, and I know it's on news, whatever. And then we got this another strong down day. It means the sellers were there and it was on higher volume. It's still in my head. It's still there. Doesn't mean that's where we're going, but it's on my mind. But we were sideways today, up 1.16%. We are kind of contracting into a point, and hopefully we break to the upside here. Bannerman's looking good, 3.24%. We're starting to move a little bit higher here. Usually what I look for when I look at this stuff, guys, is I'm looking at the lows here. See how the lows come? And now I'm looking at the lows again. If I can draw that down here a little bit. But that's what I look for. I look to see if the lows are coming up and we've got basically a spot that we're about to break. So we're gonna try to break this here and move to the upside. And we can see a violent move higher if we can break this little resistance area. It's a possibility. Looking at Goviax, I do like Goviax. We're kind of in this channel here. We're hanging on up 2.5% today. We're in this other channel. And then if you look at the big boy channel, the big boy pattern, it's a cup and handle pattern that we developed, broke to the upside, and we're kind of just hanging out on top of it. Looking at global atomic. So looking at global on the yearly, yeah, we broke down to the downside here, this little squeezing up ascending wedge inside of this other larger pattern. We could come down here like we are, and then eventually work our way higher to break the larger pattern. Forces metals, may the forces be with all of us. We're still in this big old pattern. I drew this pattern a long time ago. It's just been going inside of it the entire time. And that's the pattern. That's what it looks like on the big long term. A little bit of a down day today. We could head a little bit lower and stay inside the pattern still. Pure Point, a little bit of an update today, just tracking sideways. Deep yellow, again, we're just moving sideways here at the bottom of this channel that's been going up. We've got Paladin Energy. I drew a pattern on top of this guy here. We're at the top of that pattern. Hopefully we can break this resistance line, move on up. Sky Harbor looking good, up 4.8% on top of this massive pattern. Not a bad spot to be adding a little bit. Next Gen Energy, we are still in its pattern. A little bit of an update today on the right-hand side. We still got this big down day. I don't like seeing this. What I don't like seeing are these candlesticks and the way that these are behaving. I see that, and what happens is it tries going up and it got sold back off. Tries going up, gets sold back off. Tries going up, gets sold back off. And it's got a lot of selling. It's good selling pressure in those. That's the only thing I don't like seeing. And what does that mean? Don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see if this line holds and it continues to go higher. Canalaska, it broke its uptrend line to the downside. And we'll see where this thing heads. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to tie all this stuff together, guys. Are we going to get a little bit larger pullback that comes back down here? I don't know. Maybe. Because why are we breaking this trend line? Why am I seeing some other, things stack on top of each other in other companies? The overall sector hasn't gone up as much as some of the other energy sectors. I'm just trying to talk out loud. That's all. This guy's in a cup and handle pattern. Hopefully we can get moving to the upside. Had a 2.3% up day today. Fission 3.0 looking quite strong. It's just moving sideways at the moment, up to 2.3%, which is a sideways day in these uranium stocks because they're so volatile. Looking at Fission OG, yeah, moving sideways. Not much to really talk about there. Still in the pattern. Everything's still okay. Camco. And you know, another thing I'm looking at are these patterns. Like, see how this pattern is like this? In Elliott Wave, just to let you guys know, if it is, and I am not an Elliott Wave expert, where you get a move up, a third wave, and then a fifth wave, and then it goes into a topping pattern, and then it comes back down this way. I don't know if that's in the store for us. I don't want to scare anybody. I'm just saying that this does look like an Elliott Wave, and I'll show you what the Elliott Wave is. I'll pull it up right now real quick just to show you what I mean, and that I'm not feeding you a bunch of stuff here. So this is the Elliott Wave, and what I'm looking at is this. It's a first wave, a third wave, and a fifth wave. And I'm not an expert in Elliott Wave. I'm just basically stating some things here. If you look at this fifth wave where it goes 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and then it pulls back, is this pattern existing in this type of movement? And if you look at how some of these are positioned here, first wave, or I should say first wave, third wave, and a fifth wave, and then the A, B, C correction. 1, 3, and 5. This is a corrective phase in an ABC correction. And then you get this pattern here. And I can't draw it. Where it looks like this. And if you pull up, where is it? 1 second. I mean, 1 second, guys. I'm getting there. I'm just seeing if this matches up where we could go into a little bit of a larger correction. Because if you look at this pattern here, this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And I'm not claiming this. I'm not saying that we're going to have some huge pullback. And some of these are really hard for me to discern because I'm not an Elliott Wave expert. But we have pulled up and we haven't had a huge return move yet. And this huge pattern here basically just beelined up with no return move, and we could get a big return move where we have a return move back to like a good amount return move and then head higher. So I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting you guys know kind of what I'm seeing. And if you were to look at this, it does kind of resemble a little bit of that. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. But if it does, you would see these big selling pressure candlesticks right where they're at, and we won't be going up higher very much, especially on up days like we had today. So I just wanted to make that known. I'm not doing anything about it. I just wanted to share that with you, and that this could be a corrective phase that we're going into over here that people aren't really thinking about, just to let you know. Because that's in prom. And if you notice, you can see it in a lot of these patterns where we could head lower here, potentially, given that, you know, we didn't have stellar up day, but I'm just stating that. I don't know if that's 100% true. I'm not an expert in Elliott Wave, and that's kind of just some comments that I'm saying. But I don't like seeing these big down weeks like this, where that usually is an indication where we could be selling off some, especially with the volume here. PenMF. Now this one looks good. I see a big bullish engulfing on this week here to move on up, and everything's looking good on this side over here. So I mean, this one looks good. Boss Energy, it's probably still in its channel, just dropping sideways. Lotus Resources putting in a bullish engulfing. Usually what that means is it wants to head higher. So that one looks good. Looking at UROY, backing out on UROY. Let me get a little bit more detail in here. Backing out, backing out. So this is a kind of a first wave, third wave, fifth wave, a consolidation, kind of an ABC consolidation, and then we came on up. And guys, I'm not an expert at this stuff for the Elliott Wave, but I'm just trying to see what this looks like here. And we're chopping sideways. It doesn't look too bad. The only thing I don't like are these big down days, these reversal days. Boom, bullish, bearish engulfing, bearish piercing, and a bearish engulfing in another bearish type pattern. I mean, we'll see if this holds. If we start to head lower, I mean, then I might get a little bit more concerned. Encore Energy holding on, moving sideways, down day to day. But there is a lot of red up here. And we'll see what happens. There's a lot of green too, though. Big green days. I'm just trying to look at the patterns and see what we have. And then what another thing I look at is, you got your high here. Then you got like a little bit lower high, and then a little lower high. And then it's almost like we're stepping down into this that we want to break lower. I'm just looking at the traits, guys. We'll see if this line holds, and we'll continue to monitor it. Looking at this guy here. Again, and I'm going to call it like it is. We get this pattern. Oops. We get this pattern here. And then a pullback. I don't see a return move really yet out of this thing, but we'll see. We'll see if that happens. I know everybody's ultra bullish. That's usually when these things typically happen. URG, looking at this guy, we're still holding on. Looking on the right-hand side here. Bearish engulfing. Bearish. We got some bullish. I'm trying to look for bullish ones. There's a little bullish engulfing here. It's fighting back and forth. I like to see it head higher. UEC doesn't look too bad. It's man. Just backing out. I'm wondering if we're going to go into a corrective phase in a lot of these stocks. Kind of come across. Come on up. And you get this pattern here. Yeah. Just kind of looking, guys. Trying to see what's out there. Instead of just doing the short term. We need to hold and break to the upside. We don't want to break to the downside. LEU, we're in its pattern here, chopping sideways. LTBR coming sideways. We're just chopping sideways at the moment. This is ISO Energy, and again, they're exhibiting this pattern here. But we'll see what happens. This has had a pretty big run too. Sideways on up. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see if this line holds, support line and all that. Appia Energy, looking at this guy here. We've got kind of a coming into a sideways pattern here. We're going to break somewhere. We're going to break somewhere, and it's going to probably be a good little break. DNN, I don't like seeing these big down days. I just don't like them. I don't like them. And the reason I don't like them is because that usually means that it breaks to the downside. And I know someone said, oh, it's because you just don't, looking at only technical analysis. That doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter what the news was behind this. It threw the pattern. It throws the pattern. But let's see if it holds. Let's see if this holds down here and if we head higher for DNN. This is done. Oh, that's the other one. Here's blue sky uranium. We do have an ascending wedge pattern. They usually break to the downside. And I'm watching for this line to hold. If it doesn't hold, you might see a little bit of a pullback. Form energy metals moving up quite good today, 5.3%. Zooming in on it. Yeah, it's looking okay. We do have a kind of a little pattern like this coming up. Sometimes they like to break to the downside. AEC, this guy's looking good on a long-term perspective here. If it can break this downtrend line. And we've got higher lows stepping up into it, so that looks good. Laramide getting sold off today. Again, guys, I'm just going to say this. This is an ascending wedge pattern. They usually like to break to the downside. The way that they would break is you create a high, and then you have a lower high. If this holds, and we break this line down here, this support line, it's probably going to head lower. That's what I'm seeing. We also have candlesticks that are pretty large, bearish piercing. We want to get rid of these big down days and get more buying pressure in here. Push this stuff higher. Western uranium, again, this one broke to the downside already, and we're just kind of hanging out here, moving sideways. So this, again, we've broken the support line to the downside, and this could head lower. It could. So, and UEXCF, this is a bearish engulfing pattern. Had a little bit of a down day today. Let's see if this line holds here. And then I got Mega Uranium. Mega, nice strong move off that to the upside. Mega looks pretty good. If you guys like Mega, it's breaking above its big long-term. Wow, I just keep going back. It's got a big bullish engulfing month, breaking this pattern here. So that one looks really good. So I know I'm going back and forth here. Some of these look good. They've got good patterns. Other ones, I'm hanging on to that bearish sentiment kind of in some of them, because if it breaks to the downside, guys, I mean, it may paint a different picture. I don't know. So I want to see the support lines hold. We have to see a break. And if we move on up, no worries. It was just news, and some sellers wanted to sell that day. If we break to the downside, maybe it's not just sellers. Maybe there's inherently more people wanting to sell in this sector than what we know. Don't know. It's difficult to say. And again, this is just on the short term. We got to wait and see what this thing does, and if we're going to pull on higher or break to the downside on some of these. So we'll find out. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.